was a quick snippet of the driveway that we have that we're so excited to get started, or finish, I should say. Anyway, Happy New Year's to everybody. Sorry I haven't got a video out to you in a while. Had appendix removed, so that was no fun. Of course, also the holidays and everything else. It's just been kind of difficult to get my next video out. But I promise they'll be coming out more and more frequently, especially once I get all this stuff down. Anyway, I just real quickly wanted to touch on a couple things that have happened. We had the silt fence put in, which goes around essentially the whole property where the house will be built, but also we had to put it down along the side where we put in our road. So if you look back at the video of the driveway, we went ahead and put it all everywhere. That way we don't get in trouble with the county. Next thing happened, we finally got our well rigger up there. He started drilling a hole. Everything's good. We ended up drilling roughly 500 feet. I actually checked the well the other day. It looked like it was only maybe the water level itself came up to about maybe 20 feet. So it sounds like we have a pretty good well going on. So we're pretty excited about that. Everything's great. Now it's just waiting for this permit, which comes to the last thing. So the county requires me to actually do a water test prior to getting my building permit. So I submitted off that. Unfortunately, the test takes approximately 3 weeks. We got it off right before Christmas. I'm hoping to get the results back by next week. So we'll see how that all goes. So anyway, I also, for this video, I wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're building and why we're building it. And also, if you have any questions, by all means, please ask. So I'll lead you to it. I'm going to throw you over to the computer and then we'll go from there.
Part of what I want to do in this video today is give you a kind of overview of what we're doing and what kind of home we're building. So as you can see here, this is what it's going to generally look like. Like we have, obviously this is, if you don't know, this is the south side facing of the house. We'll actually have a little breezeway in this location, and as you can see, there's a 2-car garage with a little attic space above. Hopefully we'll be able to utilize that as a bonus room essentially at a later date. In between the garage and the house, I think it's about 15 feet. We do have a little breezeway connecting the two. If you, let me scroll in here, and this is kind of the layout where it's on our property, as you can see there. So you have the garage, the driveway coming up through here, the garage. This is a breezeway, as they're calling that as covered patio, and then here's the house. And that kind of gives you the idea. And if you look, this shows generally that we're actually on the back third of the lot where we're placing this house. Part of the reason why we did that is because this location here was the flattest area on the whole property. We also wanted to be up high instead of down low so we can get some more natural light into this home. So I'm just want to walk you through kind of the layout kind of going on. I'm going to focus, my main focus obviously is the main part of the house, but we'll kind of quickly go here. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this. But if you come in here, this is where I'll call it the main door, maybe not front door, but everybody will be coming in here. We have a little foyer walking into the kitchen, dining room, living room area. And then the master bedroom will also be on the front end of the house, so on the south side of the house. If you look in the back, the main passageway we will come through is what we call our mud room, and then a half bath area. And then if you look here, so on the north side of the house, we have the 2 girls' rooms, and they share a common bath together. Also, this will be the main restroom used for the house here, but we still have this half bath as well. One of the cool things that my designer helped me work out when we were laying this plan out directly was I was really concerned about keeping the living space, when I call living space, I'm talking about your kitchen, dining, living room area, separate for sound more so than anything else from the bedrooms. And obviously having kids and stuff, I want to be out here maybe some nights late watching TV or whatnot. I don't want to disturb my 2 girls. So when we designed this, we actually designed 2 walls. If you look here, the main wall here, between the living room and the space, and then every bedroom has a secondary wall that we essentially designed into it. That way, hopefully to eliminate a lot of that noise going through the two walls. So that's pretty awesome. That was one of the best design decisions I think we've made. That's I haven't really seen anywhere else. So luckily we've been able to do this. Again, it's all first floor and everything. So that would be nice, especially if we are 90 years old and living in this space. We'll go down here. Not much to show you about the garage, standard garage. So let me show you guys the face of the house. So this is the south of the house. And real quick, I want to talk to you about why we want so many windows, X amount of things. One, the main thing that we are trying to do with this house is make an efficient house. There is a standard called passive solar homes, and that's a very high standard, but we are trying to aim to something, maybe not 100% of that, but hopefully 80% of that. The big focus is on a solar or a passive solar house. So let me kind of define what a passive solar house is. So a passive solar house is a home that takes advantage of the site, climate, and materials to minimize energy. The main thing that you want to think about when you're designing a passive solar house is how the sun affects your heating and cooling. Obviously in the winter you want a lot of sun in there to warm up the space, but in the summer you don't want any sun because you want to keep the space cool. The other things to think about are ventilation, air, and obviously insulation. So those are huge things. So when you design it, one of the main things you want to think about is you need also, so you need to worry about how much sunlight's coming in and out during what time of the year. And you also need to think about, like in the winter time, when you have the sun come in, it only comes in for short periods of time, obviously, typically, 8 to 4 or 8 to 5 or something like that. So during that time of year, you want to collect as much heat from that sun as you can. So you need what's called a mass of solid. So like when I'm talking about that, it would be, for instance, concrete or something that could collect heat during the day and then release it at night. So part of when we designed this house, we designed it on a slab for that reason. And one of the biggest reasons why we did a slab and no basement in this particular house. So that being said, the idea for us would be during the day, during the winter, during the day, the sun will come in, shine on the floors, heat the floors up, and then it'll naturally release it throughout the night. And hopefully that will reduce our energy costs. So that's what's going on with the south of the house. And then if we continue through, this is the side where you kind of walk right here. You will walk into this area here. This is where most people will enter and exit the home coming up for visiting. And then this is the back of the house, which we did add a couple dormers above our daughter's rooms, trying to get just some more light in, the biggest thing. Also, to make their rooms a little interesting and not just kind of plain Jane. One other thing as we're going through this that I want to show you. So if you notice, here's the main cut, our building section throughout the house. We do not have traditional trusses. Everything we do is vaulted, and every space of the whole entire house, it will actually be encapsulated in insulation. Again, we want to make sure that everything that's heating or cooling the space is within that space, so that we're not heating and cooling space outside our home in order to heat or cool our house. We could talk more about that later if you guys want to understand more what's going on. Also, obviously, when I get into the building stages, we'll be able to look at these a lot more detail and why I'm doing what. A couple other things is just to let you know what we're doing with the home is we are putting in radiant floors throughout. The idea being, that it's not necessarily the most efficient. It is super efficient, but it's not exactly the most efficient. Believe it or not, the most efficient is just using a split system, a heating and cooling system, just like a regular ductwork or something that you see in the restaurants and stuff. That's actually the most efficient. But we wanted a way to keep the heat towards the ground and everything else. We thought radiant would be great. The other advantage is during the summer months, we can actually run cool water through the radiant floors, and it will keep the house at a lower temperature, obviously. So that will be kind of another aspect of using radiant floors versus using just your air conditioner. So hopefully that will bring down costs. What else? So the other thing is we obviously are doing instant hot water heater. And then one other interesting thing that we're doing, again, not necessarily a green thing, but just energy or energy cost efficiency, utilizing a outdoor wood boiler for the winter months to heat the radiant floors and also to heat our domestic water, so any water that's throughout the house. So we really that will be cool because it's kind of as our backup heat source is going to be the wood boiler. So if we do lose power and stuff, we'll actually still be able to utilize heat throughout the house. Those are the big overall, like maybe focus. I guess I should also mention that we are obviously putting an air conditioner system in. We are planning on doing a split system for that. Again, when we get to that point in the build process, I'll explain more of that later. So overall, hopefully you guys get a little picture of what we're doing, the idea, everything, what our house is going to look like. It's a little bit different than I feel like most people building homes today, but we're super excited to get it started, and hopefully we'll learn a lot, and hopefully you guys will learn a lot as well.